Hello there, this is Out Motorsports. My name is Jake, and this is a 2017 Ford Mustang FP350S. This is one of 50 factory-built Ford Mustang race cars for the 2017 model year, and it has no VIN, it's not street legal, and it was actually never sold in dealerships. It was sold through the Ford Performance Accessories and Parts Catalog. And I'm here at VIR with Track Advantage. They are a group run by a husband and wife named Clayton and Christa, and they invited me to come out and drive this car. This belongs to Christa. Clayton has his own toys with his BMWs, and Christa got into track days with a Ford Mustang of street car variety, and then picked up this FP350S because she wanted something that had all the safety gear done and all the track stuff done, and this was just a turnkey solution. So let's talk about what this 2017 Mustang FP350S is, and then we're gonna get it out on the track here at VIR and see how it is to drive. All right, so let's talk about what this 2017 Ford Mustang FP350S is. Like I said, this is a factory-built race car that came with no VIN, it's not street legal, so that means it is a turnkey solution direct from Ford out of, yes, the parts and accessories catalog. So to start, this is a seam-welded chassis, so they took the unibody, pulled everything apart, and seam-welded the whole thing for extra stiffness. They also took a bunch of weight out of the car, so this weighs less than a regular Mustang GT of the same era would have. So the car is stiffer and lighter than a regular Mustang, of course. Ford does not actually publish weight on these cars because based on the driver, based on how you've got it set up for your class of racing, it's gonna be different, but they will confirm that it is lighter and stiffer than a regular Mustang. As far as where you're driving, obviously we're here with a kind of one-off bespoke type of event with Track Advantage. So these cars were initially built to be raced in TransAm and SCCA, but of course they can be adapted to whatever series you're looking for based on power and weight, tire and brake and all that good stuff. As far as the rest of the chassis is concerned, the car did come with a factory roll cage that's FIA compliant. There's a whole fire system inside, and then you've got an APR wing on the trunk and a Ford Racing carbon fiber splitter at the front. As far as the drivetrain of this whole thing, it is a 5.2 liter Ford V8. It is not the flat plane crank V8. It is the regular crankshaft, not a flat plane in there. And Ford won't confirm how much power and torque it makes. They only say it makes north of 500 horsepower because, again, based on your specs and if you have it tuned or restricted or whatever, it might make more or less power and torque. It's connected to a Tremec 6-speed manual that has a Ford Performance short shift kit on it, and of course a Torsen limited slip diff at the back. And then the final piece of all this, of course, relates to stopping the car, and Ford put AP Racing brakes on the front and rear. It's a 6-piston caliper up front and a 4-piston caliper here in the back. So huge brakes, of course, if you're looking to stop a 500 plus horsepower, whatever the hell weight car. And let's get out on the track and see how this thing is to drive. Alrighty, so I learned from Christa and Clayton while I was waiting to go out here that given Ford won't talk about numbers explicitly, Christa and Clayton obviously have had the car dynoed, they've had it weighed. It weighs about 3,300 pounds without driver, and it makes, he said, 580 horsepower to the wheels. So that's going to be a lot. And certainly much faster than I'm used to with my old GTS2 car. It was not nearly as fast as that. So we're going to take it easy because what I'm not looking to do is buy Christa a new replacement car. But we'll head out. One cool thing she mentioned is one of these switches down here on the panel is for auto rev match. So if you don't want to heel toe yourself, you can click that on and auto rev match it. And so what Track Advantage does is they're a track day group that tries to get people in one day early before a NASA event, give you a whole day of track time. It is for mostly intermediate to advanced drivers, so everyone's kind of a similar skill level, and it's a ton of track time. It's basically 3 separate groups for skill level, and you get 30-minute sessions all day long, so you can have a ton of time if you really want to. Really good opportunity if you're going to be testing a car or trying to learn a new track. If you're here at VIR, for example. All right, off we go. All right, so let's talk about a lap of VIR in this special factory-built Mustang race car. First of all, I can't really fit in it, so that's how the seat's positioned, but we've got grip in the tires, we've got heat in the brakes, everything's feeling pretty good at this point. And you know, older Mustangs were not nearly known for their handling prowess like these. The cars before the independent rear suspension were not nearly so docile, I think. But just hammer down. I'm lifting a little before the S's just because it's not my car. I don't know how fast we can go up these, but it's pretty comfortable everywhere. Bend it in and let him get by me. So one big thing here is the brakes. They are phenomenal. I mentioned they were AP Racing brakes, the big caliper, a lot of pistons, but they've also got bigger rotors than a normal Mustang would, of course. And they work really, really, really well. Oh my goodness. There's mind-melting brake torque there. Losing my microphone, that's not going to be good. Probably going to come out again. But off we go. And under braking here, I mean, I can brake much later, but my goodness, they just stop. And what's interesting is the power application out of a corner. There's a lot of torque. Like, yes, this is a high revving V8, but it makes good amounts of power and torque, even, you know, at 4,000 RPM. You don't have to be wound all the way up. And of course, the best part is the noise. It's not the flat plane crank motor, but it's still a big, juicy American V8. I get why people like these cars. It's just easy. I'm obviously not driving it near to its abilities, but it's just easy. Goodness, it's fast. And the brakes, which on my old race car were a sore point for me, they never felt very good. The brakes are just fantastic. Christa. She's the one who owns and drives this car, and she started first with a street car Mustang doing some track days and went to this. So first of all, thank you for letting me drive this, because this was super cool.
Absolutely, anytime.
So why did you end up moving to this car versus your street car?
Well, so I picked this one because I love Mustangs, and big Mustang fan since I was 6 years old. My dad ruined me with Mustangs, and well, ruined me in a good way with Mustangs. And I got faster and faster, and I needed safety. And this one, with it being a fully caged from Ford.
Right, like prep, turnkey.
Prep, turnkey, and it's just safety.
And then how long have you been doing track days in general?
For about 2.5 years now.
And you're maybe going racing soon?
Yes, that is.
We're gonna get you to do it?
Yes, that's my last bucket list thing to do, is to get my comp license.
Okay.
And so I'm still kind of in that HPDE 3 category. So the next thing to check off is to get to comp school. So hopefully the end of this fall or the beginning of the spring next year, I will have my comp license, and then I'll take this girl wheel to wheel.
So if you had to say one thing either to anyone who's thinking about doing track days or to women who are thinking about doing track days, what would you say?
Do it. It's amazing. That one thing, at first I was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And my husband kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I said, fine. I'll go out there one time and just try it out, so he'd leave me alone. And as soon as I got off track, I was like, I could not wait to get back out there. I was like jumping up and down in the paddocks. I'm like, I want to get back out there right now, right now. And throughout this 2.5 years, it's amazing of the confidence that it builds in you. Not just as a driver, but as an actual person, that when you come off track, you're like, I just did that. And even in your everyday life, you're just like, you know what, I can do that, I can accomplish that. And this is one sport. It doesn't matter what gender you are, how tall, how short. It really doesn't matter.
It's a great equalizer.
It's a complete equalizer, because when you're behind that wheel and you have your helmet on, you have your suit on, and you're driving, you don't know who's behind the wheel. I mean, it could be your grandmother, it could be your grandfather, it could be a 15-year-old kid, and you have no idea. And just to have that mentality and to be able to just still accomplish the same things as your other partners out there on the track is amazing. And the feeling that you get is just, it's amazing.
Cool. Well, thank you, Christa. I really appreciate all
this.
Well,
thank you, Jake. Yeah, absolutely. And hey, anytime you want to take her back out, just let me know.
That's dangerous. I'm going to have to lose a few inches in height first.
Yeah, maybe we'll just drop the seat down a little lower.
Maybe that. All right, and that is it for this review of the 2017 Ford Mustang FP350S factory race car. Thank you so much for coming along. As always, if you like what we're up to, please subscribe right here on YouTube and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing. If you'd like to follow us elsewhere, we can be found at Out Motorsports on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, if you'd like to connect with other LGBT automotive enthusiasts and motorsports competitors, please head over to outmotorsports.com. We have a whole community over there, and we would love to have you join us. Until next time, please stay safe, be well. We'll see you again soon.